How we went from 0 to 80 units using personal branding, it's because we were planting the seeds in the very beginning.
Your social media presence is your elevator pitch to the world. What are you looking to accomplish, and what have you already accomplished?
We can bring people to the deals that you have, that you find, and you're looking for this aspect. That is how the partnerships form.
You just need to start. You need to listen to this. Don't be like the 99%. Just suck it up, build out a plan, and try it.
You need to talk to more people. You need to put your voice out there more because not enough people know what you're doing.
He ended up buying the property from his friend's dad as an off-market deal at a great cash-on-cash return.
If you stay in your turtle shell, you can only go so far. And by the way, you can only go so far just doing it on your own. And you don't have to have a lone wolf mentality. You're going to find your tribe.
Welcome back to the Wealth Juice podcast. As always, it's your boys, Ryan and Corey, here with another episode. Today, it's just going to be Corey and I, and we are going to take a dive into how personal branding took our real estate portfolio from 8 to 80 units. We're going to cover everything from the power of social media and podcasting, building a digital resume, a personal brand, and kind of go into the structure and how you can amplify your current situation to scale even faster. And I think with the digital age and everything online and the supercomputer in your pocket, i.e. your iPhone or your smartphone, you can make a great chunk of change in 2025. And also you can scale your relationships and your portfolio in whatever you're doing by engaging and using strategic strategies that we'll go through today.
Think about the trajectory of our portfolio. I just want to talk about this. The reason why REI didn't say how we went from 0 to 80 units using personal branding, it's because we were planting the seeds in the very beginning of that 0 to 8 units was REI and I literally brute forcing, saving up each property, saving up, buying a new one, making mistakes, losing money, not knowing what we were doing. But in the meantime, we were documenting our journey. We were talking about what we were doing and just, hey, hopefully people follow along. But think about the trajectory of going from 0 to 8 units took us about 2 to 3 years, and then another 2 to 3 years to go from 8 to 80. Okay. And now there's a lot of nuance that comes in between there, but it was the planting of the seed of our personal branding that allowed people to attach themselves onto us. And that's what we want to talk about here today. So if you're listening, we talk about personal branding as like this thing that people need to be doing. I don't care if you have 1 unit. I don't care if you have 2 units. I don't care if you're an aspiring real estate investor. You need to be putting your message out there. And here's the thing. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to get posts that don't get any love. But what you should do is take 365 days, start a social media account, and post every day for 365 days. And at the end of those 365 days, you can come back to us and you can find this podcast. You can message us on IG and you can say, hey, it didn't work. And then we'll say, do it for another 365 days. But I guarantee you're going to be a lot further along than you were before starting.
What I will tell you is 99% of people listening, hopefully not you, but 99% of people that hear this will not do this. And those people will take it. They may get to their goal. It's going to take them way longer, or they'll never do it. And they get stuck in that analysis paralysis. We're giving you the cheat code here. Your social media presence is your elevator pitch to the world. What are you looking to accomplish, and what have you already accomplished? If you are an aspiring real estate investor, you create an Instagram account. That's where we live and breathe. And you put a high quality photo with you smiling as your profile picture. You build out a bio and just say, hey, aspiring real estate investor, and put the niche that you're thinking about investing in the future. That way, when anyone finds you or looks you up or you reach out to people, they know what you're looking to do, right? It's a very simple concept. Now, a lot of people get in the space of, hey, well, listen, like I feel it's imposter syndrome, right? Like I feel like I'm not ready. I haven't done anything. What can I offer? It doesn't have to be directly to your friends and family, right? We started a completely new page, separated our worlds to say, hey, listen, we're just going to go all in and try this by creating a new identity. We didn't blend our audiences. So it's just Corey and I created a page, and it was strictly for networking with other people and sharing our journey. Now, Corey came up with the idea at our inception phase. This was during COVID. He's like, hey, I think we should start a podcast. And I was like, dude, that's great, but why? He's like, you and I have talked about real estate investing for so long and personal finance, and we talk all the time behind closed doors. There's a lot of other people out there that are interested in this, but they keep hearing shows like Bigger Pockets and these big name box cutter shows that are like talking about buying real estate and getting in the game, but the people that they're interviewing have thousands of units, and a lot of people feel out of touch with that and overwhelmed that they can't get there. And no knock on Bigger Pockets, we love them, we have a great relationship, but what I'm saying is it's very high level, and there's people that have massive levels of success. It's overwhelming to the mom and pop that are just trying to start. So Corey was like, hey dude, I think people will really resonate if we just share our journey and be completely real with it. We had 1 to 2 units at the time. Let's show them how we're scaling, the tips, tricks, and everything we're doing along the way, because then it's more comforting for people to hear that, to know, okay, they made a mistake here, they pivoted this way, or like they're going through this part of their journey, and we were only 1 step or 2 steps above that person listening, right? So the podcast started with that thought and idea. Corey and I had, he and I sharing our journey, but then we decided to reach out to someone that we read his book, Chad Carson. And we're like, well, you were our mentor before you even knew it. We read your book. We'd love to have you on the show. Here's what we're doing. We want to help other people. It's like, dude, sure, I'll come on your show. He gave us a shot. And we realized in that moment, we were interviewing a person we read their book about, and someone that we looked up to. We're like, wow, this is possible for us. We can also not only teach others, but now we can use these hours in the day as a networking session, and we were getting a free masterclass anytime we interviewed a very successful real estate investor. So for Corey and I, it was like this double whammy where we were getting our message out there. We were networking with other people, surrounding ourselves with other people that were amazing at what we wanted to do. And that's what really scaled us up to the next level. And I just wanted to we read the books about how to get around the right people and paying to play and how do you do it. We fell into this, right? Like we thought it was going to be Corey and I sharing our story, but then we realized we could open all these doors to talk with other people instead of hey, can I buy you a coffee? Can I sit down with you and pick your brain? It was, hey, we have a podcast. We want, with an audience, we want to share your journey and amplify what you have going on. Do you have a book that you're looking to promote? Do you have a community? Like, what is your business strategy? We'll organically weave it into the show, and we just want to learn about you. And if we don't put it about us, we put it about the other person and amplifying them, there's a feel-good conversation where they're like, these guys are great. Like, I love what you guys got going on, because we didn't talk about ourselves at all until they asked. And we just kind of kept peppering and saying, hey, like, you're amazing at this. We love this. This is what you taught us. And it organically snowballed over time to, you guys have seen the guests that we've had on the show, but guys, like, we had celebrities, we've had people that have thousands of units, all these things, but we also still interview the people that are going through it and just got their first duplex, just got their first single family, because we want to show you what's possible. We want to get you excited and show you what's really possible if you scale it and you put your nose to the grindstone, but also that you're not that far away. And so all this to say, we would have never had any of this and been able to take our portfolio to the great heights had we not started day one and sucked it up and said, hey, we're going to suck at this, but we're going to try it. And we're just going to keep going every day and get 1% better. And, we're not anywhere near where we think we can get to or where we want to go, but we're proud of where we've come. And we're throwing it back. Like, the reason for this episode is to show you just need to start. You need to listen to this. Don't be like the 99%. Just suck it up, build out a plan, and try it. It's not going to be perfect at first, but I'm telling you, it can take you to great heights.
And also, that's great points, right? Also, this isn't necessarily just about interviewing people, because most people that are listening are like, oh, I want to build a portfolio. Okay, how does that actually allow me to build a real estate portfolio? It's not just about having people on your podcast, but what does that do? It creates the bond or the relationship between you and that person. And then what you do is, out of the 250 people that we've had on our podcast, we haven't partnered with 100 of them. We partnered with 3. We've partnered with 3 people that we've had on our podcast. We've partnered with Sean Winslow in the New Hampshire market. That's where we're buying our property, an 18 unit and a 10 unit. There's a couple other people we've partnered with, but we latched on to people that came on our podcast, and then we essentially dated them for 2 years and learned more about them and what their goals are and how our skill sets could fit into their skill sets. But only first by REI, what you said is amplifying their voices. We amplified his voice. We got him on a show that was budding, that was growing. He ended up meeting people that he could help, that could help him in his business, from people that listened to the show. And then we say, hey, Sean, we're good at marketing. We're good at the sales aspect. We can bring people to the deals that you have, that you find, and you're looking for this aspect. That is how the partnerships form. And I think it's something that's overlooked, and people are afraid to put their message out there. But where are people hanging out all day long? You can go to networking events, and you should go to networking events, but that's where you strengthen the relationships. That's where you build the next level of the relationship and the in-person stuff. But the social media is like, I heard somebody say this the other day. If you don't have 1 million followers, which we don't, but if you don't have 1 million followers, essentially nobody knows who you are. And how interesting is that? Like, there's so many people in the world that, like, not that many people know who you are. And I say nobody in, like, I'm saying this in air quotes if you're listening, because clearly a lot of people know who we are, and a lot of people know people that have less than 1 million followers. But how Hermosi was saying, he was the one who said it. He's like, you need to talk to more people. You need to put your voice out there more, because not enough people know what you're doing, and not enough people can help you. So what I'm saying is, it's even a message for us to strive to like continue to amplify our own voices and get more followers and get more traction, because not enough people know who we are, even at this stage. So if you're just starting out, not enough people know who you are. That's really what this comes down to. And it's like, not enough people know what your goals are. And it really starts with the first post, with the first podcast. Start talking about it. It will grow. And one more tip, Brian, I know you're jumping to get in here. One more tip for people. This is, I don't know if we've even shared this on any show that we've done. The thing that helped us grow, went from 0 to 5,000, 10,000. We're at like going to hit 40,000 followers pretty soon. The thing that we started doing in the beginning is literally this. We would go on other people's pages on Instagram that had a decent amount of followers, and we would leave insightful comments on their page. And we would also like a bunch of posts. And we would just, when people see likes, they then go to your page, and then they might say, oh, you have decent branding. This is cool. What is this person doing? Maybe I'll follow that person. Dude, we at one point, I don't even think you're allowed to do this on Instagram anymore. We liked 100 photos a day of random people. I don't know if you remember those beginning stages. And it was like, I'm not saying that's kosher. Like, don't spam people. But we did that in the beginning. We liked all people who were liking other real estate pages, and then they followed us, and then that's how we grew our following in the beginning. And that's just having people latch on to you, and then we just were ourselves, and then they stayed.
Yeah, there's so many different strategies we can talk about in the beginning, but Instagram, the algorithms changed so many different times. Like that won't work today. But what Corey was basically getting at is like, we did anything we could to get our podcast and our Instagram page in front of other people. So we looked down, like, who's following all the big names in real estate? Let's go like all their pages. Then they can see ours, right? Because when you like it, there's engagement and people see who you are. Now the whole game has changed. Like, you can buy a blue check now, right? And I think it's $20 a month. That's just another cheat code to do it. I mean, even if you have 1 to 2 units, buy the check. People, if they see you like their photo or they engage on something and you have the check, I'm more likely to click on your page to see what you're doing. So there's so many different things there. I want to go back.
By the way, you are a real estate investor with 1 to 2 units. People like have that like mental block. You're a real estate investor. Put it in your bio. Talk about it. Not to cut you off, but that it's important.
Well, it's a prime example here. So one of the students in our community, I should say one of our clients, he had, I think, 4 units at the time, and kept pretty much everything to himself, was doing, kind of going through the motions. And he was investing in himself by, joining other mastermind groups and reading the forums, the blogs, and he was on social media, but he's more like the silent lurker on social media. As soon as he flipped his social media bio to say real estate investor and put like 4 doors, one of his friends from college reached out to him and said, hey, my dad's selling this property. I don't really know what you do in real estate, but saw you're really into it. You guys should have a conversation. He ended up buying the property from his friend's dad as an off-market deal at a great cash on cash return. And I say that to say he would have had no shot at getting that because no one knew what he was doing. And so my point of bringing this up is you don't have to be a real estate, air quotes here, guru, or someone that acts like they know everything about real estate or educating other people. All you have to do, this can be your personal page. Just let people know what you're doing. Like, I'm a real estate investor. That's all you have to say. And then
sorry to cut you off. I wanted to just make a note there. So, and not only do you not have to be a guru, you shouldn't be a guru. People want to follow people who act like themselves. So only talk about the things that you know and say, hey, I don't know how this works. Show your shortcomings. People will latch onto that. I'll let you continue, but it's not only that you don't have to be a guru, you should be exactly the opposite. You should be yourself. And if you don't know about boutique hotel investing, then don't talk about boutique hotel investing, obviously, right? Talk about the duplex and the windows that broke and that you need to fix them,
Yes, there are so many people out there in the space, and this doesn't have to just apply to real estate investing, but anything you're looking to do, there's a bunch of other influencers, if you will, or people that are taking a shot and sharing their story, and that out there, you are very unique to you, right? Your story is not going to be the exact same story as anyone else's. And that just gives you a leg up. That's the coolest part about us. People are like, juice. Like, I don't get that. Like, why you guys, we want it to be a differentiator or I forget the disruptor in the space where it's not like legacy investor or blue steel
Alpha
investing, whatever it is.
investing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, we're we're the wealth juice, right? And they're like, I like the juice guys. I don't really, the pack a punch, like they're in there, like they got the orange, the black. So we were like, hey, how can we be a disruptor in the space? And this is just more on the personal branding kind of side. But my point here is it can evolve. And how can you share your story that's a little bit different than everybody else so you stick out and people remember you? But it also should give you the confidence to say, no one's made the same way you are. No one has the same exact thoughts you are, maybe, and they don't have the exact same skill sets that you do. So your story will be unique, and someone, whether you have 5,000 or 5 million followers, is going to resonate with you, and you're going to start to build relationships. And once you create this page, I want to bring this back. Like I talked about our podcast, right? And use this as an organic tool. But in order for us to be able to engage with the audience, right? The podcast came first before the Instagram. And it was Corey and I, kind of going back and forth, but we realized that there's people that probably want to ask us questions, and how do we engage with the audience? So that's why we paired up and started the Instagram page. And that is also the stepping stone that boosted us to the next level, because that's even more organic networking with people. They're not just hearing your voice, they're seeing your face, they're seeing what you're doing in your daily life. And then you can share your thoughts and ideas and put them in like tweet style posts, put them out there. You can motivate people. You can show what you're doing on the weekends, show your family. And my point is, your life is different than everybody else's, but someone is going to resonate with that and really like you for you. And that might, i.e. start a partnership, or that allow you to at least get in rooms with other people that you want to be around. And I think that's what kind of separated us, where Corey mentioned, like, back to the Sean Winslow thing, we had so many people on the show, but we finally met Sean. We're like, I really like this kid. Like he was a couple of years older than us, but super dialed in something that we wanted to do. And we said, hey, let's take this relationship offline and let's start having Zoom calls and let's start meeting. Like, what are your business goals? What are your personal goals? And like, we were so aligned on a lot of different things, but morals, values, and ethics came first. And we really loved how he ran his business. So we're like, dude, like there's something here. You're lacking this. We are lacking this. It's the perfect marriage. Let's try a deal together. So we took down the 18 unit, worked out phenomenally. We're going through it now. Then we got a 10 unit. So that's just one thing out of a bunch of different things we have going on, where we have another way to buy real estate now, which is amazing. Now on the other side, then other things form where people start seeing what you're doing. And they're like, hey, listen, you guys, you have a big reach. We have a service-based industry in real estate. We'd like to sponsor your show, or we'd like to sponsor your Instagram. It opens up other doors for other streams of income. So, and then Corey and I still buy property 50-50, right? We built a coaching community where we're helping other people buy their first property. There's just so many things that can evolve from just starting the brand and putting your aspirations out there. You don't have to be air quotes here, influencer. You don't have to act like you know everything. But our point is, by building these things out and just putting your digital resume together and showcasing what you're interested in and what you're doing. I don't care if you have 1, 2, 3 properties, 0 properties, just put it out there, because it'll slowly evolve the more time, energy, and effort you give it. And then when you go to you have to really put the networking in the networking. And social media is social for a reason, right? You're not just posting the post. Engage with the people in the audience that you have, even if it's 5 followers. People love that. I remember when we first started our page, there's one gentleman that would comment on all of our stuff. I'm like, who is this guy? He keeps popping up. I'm going to keep his name off of it, but he keeps popping up, and he was super dialed, super intelligent, the way he was like replying to our captions and our posts. He decided to start his own, and now they have 250,000 followers, he and his wife, and they're doing their thing. And it's so cool to see people that just take a shot and figure it out. And it doesn't matter about the follower count. I just want to say this, and like all these things, are you getting to the next level and go and starting to do the things you want to do? And are you, maybe you never bought that first property and you always wanted to. And this is a way for us saying like, hey, we were those guys. This is how we did it. It's a different way. You're on social media anyways. Another cheat code is this new social media account you have. Only follow people that are doing what you want to do. So you're consumed by that all the time. Think about when you're in bed, end of the night, and you're just scrolling, right? Whether you're doom scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, even YouTube reels or shorts, whatever they're called these days, and you're just kind of going through the vortex. Imagine all the things that you're consuming are people teaching you about personal finance, real estate investing. That's exactly what Corey and I did. So every day we were like motivated, consumed, and we had so many new ideas like, hey, we could do this, we could tweak this, because all the thoughts that were pushed into us every day were about the thing we wanted to do. So it's just another thing to train your brain, outside of you going and reading and listening to podcasts and studying on YouTube and all these things. It's another way to just kind of re-steer the ship and get laned up, because there's so much information out there these days. How can you synthesize it and get to it? It's not only putting your story out there, it's what you're consuming and making sure that you're kind of dialed in that aspect as well.
It's funny that you mentioned the gentleman who was following us that grew to 250,000 followers. I was going to give another example, and I found this the other day. I'm not going to say her name, but this girl, she was talking about personal finance, and you probably don't even remember her, but she was talking about personal finance. She was on Instagram. She would comment and like all of our stuff. She probably had 1,000 followers when we were at maybe 10,000. Again, not about the follower count, but just give you an idea. And she worked a corporate job and she wanted to get out of her job, but she really liked talking about finance. I checked the other day, 3 days ago, I was on TikTok. She has 900,000 followers on TikTok. And I think 85 or something on Instagram. And she does it full time. What she does is she does reviews of local restaurants and reviews. She's a lifestyle influencer. She turned from she has a finance spin on it, but she does that full time. She's making full time money from her pocket from somebody who was commenting and liking on our stuff. Again, I'm not suggesting that you're following our page because you want to be a full time, even go full time in real estate. But if you want to expedite the process of buying real estate and getting around people that are doing that thing, this is the way to do it in 2025. I'm on my phone. Everyone, you look at your phone, you're probably on your phone 6 hours a day. I can guarantee your screen time is probably 5 to 6 hours. That's probably minimum. So why not turn the consumer part of it into a creator and then share your story genuinely to the audiences that will resonate with you? And before you know it, the reason why we started a coaching community is because of the amount of people that were asking us to get coffee and asking us to pick our brain. And now I do it full time and I love doing it. And so I just think that it can start something that you never expected. If you stay in your turtle shell, you can only go so far. And by the way, you can only go so far just doing it on your own. And you don't have to have a lone wolf mentality. You're going to find your tribe. And that is the power of personal branding and putting your message out there. And we've talked about it, but not as in depth as in the reasoning for doing it. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. I got one more thing to end the show, but Rye, if you have more, we can continue.
Yep. I got a couple more things I want to talk about. So the first thing is, I know a lot of you are working 9 to 5s listening to this and you want to get into real estate and just escape, i.e. the rat race, if you want to call it that. But the thing I want to chat about here is when you're going to network, you're always thinking about, okay, how can I get the next promotion, right? Or what do I have to do in order to be worthy of this next promotion? And a lot of it's playing that corporate chess game, and you need to get in the right rooms with the right people to have the conversations to say, hey, listen, do you have my back when this thing pops up? And can you show, here's what all the things I've done to think that I proved myself to get there, right? But 9 times out of 10, it comes to a relationship, and they're giving the job to someone that they've groomed for that job, or that they've had their eye on for a long time, or it's a personal reference, like a warm lead, right? It's rarely ever that it's just the blank resume that gets pushed to them. And I can say that because I've worked in hiring at one stage in my career, right? And so I understand this game. And my thing that I want to say here is, it's by creating your Instagram page, you are able to skip all the way to the CEO. You don't have to deal with gatekeepers. That's the coolest thing. People that are doing amazing things, it's very often that you're going to be able to have a conversation with someone that is running the ship. And that's not so often that you're able to do that with a 9 to 5, where how would you ever buy? You're not going to ask the CEO if I can buy a coffee and sit down with you, unless you have a very progressive CEO that knows your name, and that acts like a figure, that like a mentorship figure. A lot of them are far removed, and there's gatekeepers to get there, and there's meetings, and they don't control their own schedule. We found with social media and through our podcast, it was we could get these people into our sphere by offering them a podcast episode, as I mentioned in the beginning. And so that's just it's a way to get in the rooms, but a simple DM can get you a conversation and can get you. Someone told us this the other day, and I think it's just it's an amazing story. You'll hear it on our podcast. But we interviewed him yesterday. It's actually Cole Rude Johnson. I'll mention his name here. But he basically told us about his big break. He was 19 years old. He wanted to become a real estate investor. He always knew his mom, I believe, was a broker. He was around real estate, and he's like, I just know that this is the thing for me. So he left college, and he was on the treadmill one day, and he noticed that one of the biggest real estate developers or flippers was on the treadmill next to him. He's ripping on the treadmill. He pauses his treadmill, looks over at him, and he says, "Hey man, are you Dan?" And Dan looks over at him. He's like, yeah, all confused and sweated up a mess. And he's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I've been following you on social for a long time. My mother's a broker in the industry, and she's local, but I've also been kind of following her footsteps. I actually built out a CRM that I really want to show to you guys and see if I'd love to build out the CRM in your business for free if you'd let me. And the guy was like, who is this kid stopping me on the treadmill? Took a shot, right? Out of nowhere, would have never had the conversation. The guy goes, okay, cool. actually, we're lacking in our CRM right now. That's actually a big pain point in our business. Let me see what you got. So Cole pulls out his phone, shows him the CRM. They booked a meeting. That guy ends up having Cole set up his CRM, which he did for free, by the way. They built a relationship. Cole found himself another 6 months later down at a private mastermind with Brennan Turner, Ryan Pineda, a bunch of these big name guys that he never would have been in a room with had he not took the chance that day and, said, hey, listen, what are you looking for? I know who you are. Here's who I am. Here's what I've done. He had the CRM knowledge and things built out in the back end. And when the doors were closed, he was working and grinding. So then when the opportunity came, he was able to showcase what he was capable of. Right. So I want to just say, like, social media and telling people what you want to do and having the gall to go up and do it can change your life drastically. And so he was able to skip all the gatekeepers. He would have never booked a call with anyone. They would have been like, yeah, we'll let him know that you reached out, blah, blah, blah. They would have went to the dark abyss. He got right to the head of the beast, saw an opportunity, pushed his way through. So, do you have something to say there? Yeah.
Here's the next layer deep of that. How would Cole have even known who Dan? I don't know if his name is actually Dan. I think it might have been, but like, but how would Cole have even known who Dan was if Dan didn't have social media and talked about his flipping and wholesaling and or his development business? So that is the thing. It's like Dan was light years ahead just in terms of time and effort and energy put in. He had a bunch of followers. He had amassed, kind of a following, if you will, on social. And then Cole was able to identify who he was by standing next to him at the gym, and so it's a full circle thing. And I just think, I don't know if you have more to say about this, Rye, but like, I think that if you're listening and you want to take anything away from this episode, it is, you don't necessarily have to start a podcast. I would do it if I were you, but start a Instagram or a TikTok and every day for a year, post about what you're doing. If you're serious about getting into real estate, or if you're serious about your real estate journey, if you have a couple units, or even if you have 0, or if you have 10, doesn't matter. Post about what you're doing every single day. People will identify with you. You will grow, not only just in follower count, but you will grow in your real, true network and people that want to help you, and see what happens.
100%. You can start the Instagram page. You can study what other people are doing, look at what they're doing, use it as a framework, and put your spin on it. You don't have to focus. If it's too overwhelming to post every single day, start with 1 a week, start with 3 a week, and then you'll scale up from there. You're going to get better. And my point is, when you start, it's just like building a snowman going down, or it's an avalanche coming down the mountain, right? It starts very small and it builds up. You got to focus on the momentum. When you feel the momentum riding, just keep punching, keep going and pushing it. That massive snowball is going to work its way down the mountain, turn into an avalanche and crash all the way down. And you're going to be flying at some point. You know what I mean? So for us, I just go back to the beginning. It all started with a thought. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship and the beauty of people that start businesses and things like that. It all just starts with a thought. And then you have to put it into reality by building out systems, by learning from others, by seeing who's been doing this for a long time. What have they been doing? How have they succeeded? And then also pivot, because the algorithm in life changes all the time. But you have the foundational piece. Like, you could take Corey and Orion out of the game and you could remove Instagram and all this. We'll go start a new social media on whatever the new platform is. And we know how to play the game now. And so our point for this is, like, we want to give you the window in, and then we'll do another episode for the really nitty gritty how-to on how to build out the Instagram, how to build out a podcast, if that's something you guys are interested in. But this is to light the spark, to say, just get started after it and do your own research, and you'll be off to the races here soon.
That being said, if you want to learn exactly how to do this and the way that we did it, and be handheld literally with us as a part of what we teach people how to buy their first or next rental property, one of the pillars we teach on is how to build a personal brand. And that is the thing, because we only teach what worked for us. So if you want to learn exactly what to do, what to put in your bio, what to post, when to post, how to post, who to talk to, and literally have your hand held with it, you should consider chatting with us about our coaching community and helping you buy your first or next rental property. If you want to do that, reach out to us on Instagram at WealthJuiceOfficial. Some people are probably following us. Shoot us a DM in our bio. I think it says roadmap. Hit us with a roadmap. We'll chat, see if it's a good fit. But we help people, literally people within our community. I'll just give you one example. We've helped them get a few properties. They're probably at the 5 to 10 range now. They just started a podcast together. 2 people within the community started a podcast together, and we've helped them brand it. We've helped them what to talk about, how often to post, how to change their social. and they already got a deal from this, from social, not from the podcast, but they got a deal from social. So just as an anecdote there, I think if you want the next layer, the next level deep, we're already telling you what to do. You can go do it on your own. Go do it. I hope you do. But if you want the next phase of it and you want help, like physically from us, hit us up on IG. But if not, keep tuning in to our podcast. I like talking about the details and the tactics like this too. And this was just such a big thing for us. So we're going to keep bringing it to you.
Yep, 100%. If roadmap feels too gimmicky for you, just say, hey, I heard you guys talking about the Wealth Juice Inner Circle. That's what our community is called. And we'd love to have you, or at least have the conversation to see if we're the right fit to work together. But with that, we will see you next week.